So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Mario Piambo. I work for Napa Learns, and I'm here to tell you about the Digital Innovator program. This is a program that has been launched with the County Office of Education and Napa Learns as a partnered initiative. What we're looking to really do is bring our best teacher leaders together to enhance teaching and learning through technology and through innovative teaching and learning. And we're holding this webinar so that anyone who couldn't attend our event on the 31st has an opportunity to understand more about the program and get excited about it and see some learning topics, and hopefully invite their colleagues to register for some of our professional learning workshops. So first, I'm just going to give you a little background. As I said, the Digital Innovator program is a professional development initiative collaboratively designed by the Napa County Office of Education and Napa Learns. It's the next generation of the EdTech Dinner series, which was formerly offered by the Napa County Office of Ed. The program is sponsored by Napa Learns and coordinated by, or sponsored by the County Office and coordinated by Napa Learns. And we're really excited to be hosting it and be coming together. This is a great partnership with the County Office, and Napa Learns is very excited to be driving this initiative. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about our learning networks, and the design of our program here is really built on the idea of building networks of teachers who are interested in different areas of innovative teaching and learning. And so we have 5 areas for this year that we're going to be focusing in on. Digital classroom, which is really our educational technology tools and the tools we can use to enhance teaching and learning that are very specific to the internet and these kinds of digital classroom management tools. The next group is the maker education, maker movement, looking at how to bring engineering design thinking into the classroom through hands-on experiences and prototyping in engineering. The third is digital storytelling, which is movie making and the ability to communicate using digital tools, digital media tools. Coding and robotics, looking at different tools like code.org and various robotics tools that can be used really in any area of instruction. And then the last group, which is called the startup classroom, which is really about bringing project-based learning to the next level through authentic learning experiences that are really tied to the tools and practices that are used in modern high-tech industries. And so we're gonna talk a little bit more about those in a minute. Now, behind every learning network is our fabulous team. We have Jen Ellison, who's on the call with us. Say hi, Jen.
Hello.
We have some cool stuff going on. Let me see. You can also hit that. And so Jen's leading up the digital classroom network. The second network is the Maker Education Network, which is headed up by Julie Levy. We have Scott Marsden, who's leading digital storytelling, Tammy Lee, who's leading computer science and robotics, and Lisa Gottfried, who's leading the startup classroom. An interesting note is our first 2 network leads on the left there are Napa County Teachers of the Year. And on the right side, we have 3 Toro Fellows. So we're really excited to be bringing on teacher leaders who are well known in the education community here in Napa County. So if we look at our TPAC model, which this might be a little advanced for some of our people out there, but TPAC basically addresses 3 key areas of knowledge that are needed to build and implement 21st century learning opportunities in classrooms. And I won't go into it in too much detail, but we really feel that the districts are able to provide teachers with knowledge and support around pedagogy and content. And where we come in is we really feel that we can bring technology knowledge, which we feel is something that maybe isn't totally offered as well as it could be, to all of our teachers. And we feel that that we have the most impact if we were to bring our teachers into an environment where they're really getting support in implementing new technology tools. And so that's how we've designed our training, really with that that, that technology component in mind. So within each one of our learning networks, we'll offer meetups, which will be informal networking opportunities. We just had one, a really successful one at the Napa Valley Museum. We had about 30, 35 people show up, and it was just really great to have networking of teachers from all across Napa County coming together to learn more about our workshops and just really get to know each other. I think, you know, that was the most successful part of the evening, was just seeing all of the networking and all of the people connecting with one another. And we want to make sure that we're building in time for people to just get together and network. We're going to also offer workshops, which are our traditional after-school trainings presented by our teachers and organized within our learning networks. And all these workshops will be in various locations across Napa County. They'll be after school, and they'll be free to any teacher in the county. We'll hold them from 4 to 7 p.m. and free dinner will be provided, just like the dinner series. We'll also provide digital resources in the form of blog posts or webinars like this, or maybe different tutorials or tool tips that we'll be able to design and publish so that teachers are supported whenever they have access to an internet connection. They can just, you know, read the latest blog post or read the latest tutorial and become inspired and learn that way. And the last way is we are actually seed funding a couple pilots and actually providing teachers with some money to integrate some of these tools in their classroom. So we're really excited about those formats. Digital classroom, Jen, would you be able to talk us through your offerings?
So
do you want to introduce yourself really quick, and then I'll pull up the catalog while you talk about it?
So I'm Jen Ellison. I teach technology at Phillips Elementary here. So I have every second through sixth grader, and the first has been computer net, various games, and we wanted to sort of revamp the entire class. And so my entire class is built around sort of a mini PBL model in which students cannot accomplish tasks without technology, because I really wanted to help students see that technology is a tool that can help you do a lot of things. So, oh, hang on.
Great.
1 second.
Sweet. So I'm just going to quickly go through the catalog. Okay. Are you still there? I lost you for a second.
Good.
Cool.
Can you hear me? So, so the first two courses I have are sort of centered around the idea of how can we, as teachers, be empowered with technology to make our classes run smoother and more efficiently. And I've been to lots of different seminars where people are like, oh, try this new tool. And I've always been really excited and interested, but I think what was really missing for me, though, is see that technology actually, how it's used in the classroom. So the first course I have is really centered around, how is it that you can power up a PBL project? So what are the tools that you can use in your classroom to make things more streamlined for you as a teacher, and not add on extra work, which sometimes, you know, you come away from a training and you're like, this is fantastic, but I do not have time to do it. And I think an important thing for people to understand is that 4 years ago, I would not have called myself a tech person at all. This is my 21st year teaching. I was a classroom teacher. I've taught everything from 2nd to 12th grade, and technology is just something I've been teaching the past 3 years. So if I can learn how to do it, I'm sure that you can classroom. So that's the first course. And so we'll be looking at all kinds of things. You know, it's possible that you've even learned about Google quizzes or forms, but what I really want to talk about is how can we really integrate them into our classroom in ways that are efficient and meaningful. And then the second one is sort of focused in on classroom management. I personally have used Class Dojo for 3 years now, and I find it a really effective management tool. It's not the only one that's out there. There's others as well. So there's actual management of student behavior, but also just management. I have yet to use a piece of paper this school year in my classroom. I have one section of reading, and my reading students, we do most of our work online. And so it's not that I ever actually intended to go paperless. It's just that in the use of integrating technology into my classroom, I found it to just be my time. So I was looking at that. And then also within that, talking about your classroom through social media, which I'm a big fan of. I attend a weekly education Twitter chat, which is not something that, again, 4 years ago I would have ever done. And I have built a relationship with other teachers all over the world. And we meet once a week and we talk about how to build a positive classroom. So, and there are people that I've met who teach in a classroom situation really similar to mine, but maybe they're in Tennessee or Australia. And there's a lot of power in talking to educators who are doing the same thing you're doing. It's really great to see how they manage different things. So I think it's a really powerful tool that sometimes teachers miss out on. And then also another arm of that is I've spent a lot of time tweeting companies whose products I use in my classroom and talking about how I use them. In fact, just today, they send me an email and they actually want to talk to me about how I use a tool in my classroom, what would help in my classroom, or how, you know, they want the perspective of a teacher who's actually using their product. I've found that people in education companies, particularly R&D arm of those companies, have they don't really understand how something's used in their classroom, and so to hear from a teacher can be a really powerful thing. So I have about 4 or 5 companies that I've actually gotten to know through that, and I think that's also another really powerful tool that teachers are missing out on. And then my third class that I'm teaching, same, get technology and then flipping it. How can you make sure powered? How can they use technology in ways to express themselves, to strengthen their own voice, whether it's through video or through 3 classes, my 3 classes, and that you don't have to be for tech, but you can, and then you can learn and add those things into your class.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about your sidewalk project? Are you still there?
Are you there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I think I just lost you for a second. Can you tell us a little bit about the sidewalk project that you did? I'm losing you. I'm losing you a little bit.
A group of 5th graders in my were facing.
Let's see.
And they recognized that the neighborhood around our school doesn't have sidewalks and it doesn't have any lights. And so they put together a presentation that they presented multiple times, first for community groups and then later eventually for the mayor, explaining how the health of our community would be improved if there were lights and there were sidewalks. And the end result of that product this summer, a stretch of sidewalk was put in front of our school, and we now have three street lights that have never worked that now work. Of empowerment that the kids got from that, you know, you can't learn that through like we were driving home from the mayor. Well, you're in grade and you've met with the mayor. What's next for you? And she said, well, the president.
That's awesome.
She feels like she had unity. And that's actually just one. We actually had several really, the other project that was also successful was a group of 5th grade girls who created a student who like, so she was a teen Chapa, but she had family in Mexico, and we lived in 2 homes. And then they kids could go online and create a superhero that looked just like them. And I think one of the most beautiful things that came out of that is in creating the page for the website, they removed all gen buttons. So you don't choose male, choose what you want your superhero to look like. That includes choices like boy, you could be a girl, you could have a cane, you could have long hair, short hair, you can wear pants, you can wear a skirt, and no specific personality or everything all up. And because they wanted it to be open so that every kid could choose a superhero that looked exactly like them. And they actually, this last school year, we sat down and had a conference call with Amy Poehler Smart Girls. The president of Amy Poehler Smart Girls was really interested in their project. Put them on the air when they were doing the relaunch of the Powerpuff Girls. They all to attend, and when they realized that the girls were decided to pass on the project and promote their projects. So, and that was just amazing. And putting kids with those things and what they've accomplished.
Great. Thanks. You're breaking up a little bit, but I think it's all being recorded, so we should be good.
Yeah,
so
you're little.
I'm breaking up a little too myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the overview. And Peg and I are very excited about what you've been doing in your classroom, and we're really excited to continue to follow where your students go, because it really sounds like, you know, you use the opportunity to turn your, you know, quote unquote elementary school technology class into really, you know, a place for students to imagine how technology could be used as a part of a larger solution. And that's how technology should be used in all of our classrooms. So that's Jen, and Jen is at Phillips Elementary School, and she's leading our digital classroom workshops. Just to kind of quickly go over the rest of the catalog, our Maker Education offerings are going to include a few different workshops on the Maker movement and the engineering design process. Our first workshop will just be an overview of the engineering design process, very hands-on. We'll then be talking about tools and recipes for making, which really go into specific tools that are used in maker spaces, and what kind of tools are out there and which ones are appropriate in your classrooms. And then we'll be having a maker showcase where we'll bring in actually other teachers from across the county to showcase their projects and their tools. Digital storytelling, led by Scott Marsden in American Canyon High. We'll be talking about, our first session is called Enabling Students to Assess, Document, and Teach Others Through Video. So looking at how to use video as a tool to enhance instruction in any classroom. Things like screen capture and screencasting, and, you know, getting students to be comfortable in front of a camera and talk in front of a camera, and then as an educator using that to assess their learning, or using it as an opportunity for teachers or students to teach each other. And then we're really going to be diving into film, and we think film will be a great platform to kind of enhance project-based learning. And as we look at final products, and teachers looking for new ways to have their students create a final product that's meaningful, we'll be looking at kind of creating basically guidelines for teachers looking to bring film into their classrooms. What are the basic production techniques? What are the basic storytelling techniques? All of these different kinds of things. And also bringing in real world community members to actually talk about film, and people that are accomplished in film coming in to actually help support some of these ideas in our classrooms, and work with teachers to think about how they might create their next unit or project around a film project. We'll be looking at ways to get your students to submit into student media festivals, including, it looks like we'll be partnering with the Napa Valley Film Festival to launch a Napa County Student Media Festival. And we're really excited about getting our student filmmakers the opportunity to present their work at the Napa Valley Film Festival. So we're really excited about that partnership. Let's see. So next we're looking at coding and robotics. So as we look at that, that'll be led by Tammy Lee in American Canyon. And Tammy has a great program that she's implementing called C-STEM, which allows her to basically take math and robotics and create a really engaging learning environment for her students in her middle school. And so we'll be looking at her first session will be an overview of those tools that are provided out of UC Davis's C-STEM program. Her second workshop will really focus in on web-based tools for the classroom and really looking at not just the basic coding tools, but actual tools that allow students to create using code and using computer science. And there are many different tools out there. Scratch is one of them. They're very flexible and they allow students to really communicate and not only learn how to code just for the sake of code, but they're actually creating something and they can visually see the product that they're creating within their code. And then the third one is going to be a push to get people ready to bring the Hour of Code into their classroom. And so we'll be reviewing the Code.org and Hour of Code resources, which is a nationwide, worldwide initiative, really, to bring computer science into your classroom. And that happens during Computer Science Education Week in December. And so we're hoping that just before we'll be able to offer this as a boot camp for any teacher who's looking to bring Hour of Code into their classroom. And then the final set of training that we're looking at is called the Startup Classroom. And this will be led by Lisa Gottfried at New Tech High School, who's an accomplished project-based learning teacher. She's done some amazing work in partnering with the community and really making engaging and authentic learning experiences within her classroom and within her projects. So her first session will really be about connecting PBL to industry thinking. And her whole strand is really about looking at the skills and models that are used within the high-tech industry and startups and how to connect those into project-based learning, because we need to really look at these models as future models that all students should be literate in as they look to enter 21st century careers. And so she'll be looking at really what are those tools and how can we integrate those into our current projects and current classes. The second one is really great for anyone looking to bring in community partners. It's partnering with the community to infuse authenticity without the logistics nightmare. Lisa actually has a great example in this with the Napa Valley Museum, where she was able to form a partnership where her students really helped build out the current exhibit at the Napa Valley Museum, which is all about independent video game design. And the museum curator came in and said, we're doing this exhibit on independent video game design, and here are all of the things that need to be done. Everything from the layout of the room, to the graphics that needed to be produced, to animated video logos. The students created all of the supporting materials for the exhibit. And that's actually available just for anyone who might be listening in. That's available at the Napa Valley Museum. And it's a really great exhibit. There's some fantastic examples of independent video games, but then anything that you see there that's actually hanging next to the video game or a part of the exhibit that's not the actual game was pretty much designed by Lisa's class. And then the last one is really just about tools, technology tools that really support effective PBL, and kind of looking at the Swiss Army knife of digital tools that can enhance learning and really bring authentic learning experiences to students within their classrooms. And so that's an overview of all of them. And so registration isn't exactly, want to bookmark this link, innovation.napalearns.org. On Tuesday, you'll be receiving an email with our full catalog and links to registration for these workshops. And we're very excited to see you there. Please share the catalog with your staff. And we're excited to be building up this initiative and building out our network of digital innovators. And we're excited to have you be a part of that. And please reach out to me. My email address is mario@napalearns.org if you have any questions or get any clarification. This webinar will also be sent out to anyone who registered for the webinar and was not able to make it. Again, thanks for listening in and supporting the Digital Innovator Program. We're very excited to get started with this, and we hope that you'll join us. Thank you. And I actually see that there are 2 people viewing. I'm going to open up the Q&A. Does anyone have a question? Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can't do Q&A. Well, if you have a question, you can email me, mario@napalearns.org. I'll make a new slide and put that up really big. So if you have a question, go ahead and shoot it over to mario@napalearns.org, and I'll stay on for just a couple minutes to answer any questions that come through. And Jen had to pop out, but she said to thank you all for listening to her, and she's very excited to be leading these workshops. All right, I saw somebody drop off. A couple people are dropping out, so I'll assume that there weren't any questions. So thanks for tuning in.